All right. Pleasure to say hello now. It's been a while since I talked to this man, a man who won last week in his PFL debut. Fantastic win, fantastic performance. Way to kick things off with a new promotion. You know this man, the one and only Rory MacDonald, kind enough to join us. Rory, how are you?
Doing good, thanks.
Good to talk to you and congratulations on the win. It had been, as I'm sure you know, and you don't need me to tell you, almost 2 years since your last victory, since the last time you had your hand raised. Of course, last year was a wash for so many fighters, especially in PFL. What was it like to feel that feeling again? I was trying to zero in on you, and it felt like you were kind of like almost being kind of washed over by the moment. What was it like for you internally to get your hand raised?
Yeah, I was super grateful for just being able to be back doing what I love and also just being hungry and happy to be there. Last little while of my career, I've kind of after like the John Fitch fight and several performances, I didn't show up. I wasn't really sure if this is what I wanted to be doing, but with some time away from the sport, I got to reflect and recalibrate, and I was very excited to be able to do it, what I love to do, and I was very happy to be able to walk away with a win and a great performance. So it was nice, very
So
relieved.
I believe the last time we spoke was in December of 2019 when you signed with PFL right after leaving Bellator. And then, of course, last year, like I said, was a wash. There were no PFL events. In a weird way, I'm sure there was a part of you initially that was frustrated that they essentially canceled the season. But did that end up being a blessing in disguise for you because you were allowed to take some time off and weren't being forced to get back in the cage?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, coming off of a loss against Douglas Lima, every fighter just wants to reconcile that and get a win under their belt. So I was kind of disappointed at first, but as the year went on, I realized that this is exactly what I needed to take some time away and actually, think about things that I didn't want to think about before and address things that I didn't want to. And that year off gave me the opportunity to deal with those things that I was just kind of leaving on the back burner.
Like what?
Well, just my whole approach to fighting, really, my drive, why I even wanted to be there, and then once I figured out, yes, I want to do this, why I want to do this, getting my motivation and hunger back to actually train and work hard. I actually had to go and put in the work. Um, I wasn't doing that before, I was kind of cutting corners and, just being in my comfort zone. So I had to take myself out of my comfort zone last year, even though I know nothing really on the horizon as far as a fight. I had to get myself back in, harden my mind, harden my body, and also just like my balancing my mental approach to being a family man and fighting and what that means for me now. So just coming to realization about all that and putting things into perspective.
So, especially like the last point that you brought up, balancing being a family man and a fighter, how do you do that? Like, how do you get to the point where you feel like you have figured it out? Who helps you get there?
My wife is a huge, you know, help for me. She handles a lot of things at home for me with the kids and all that. So that's mostly covered. It's just more like when I became a father, um not at first, but after a little while, it just I let my guard down and I got very comfortable, just spending time with family and being that soft kind of dad figure and taking time away from what I needed to be doing in my work and not being able to find that good balance between the two. And so now I feel like I figured that out to be able to, have my time with my kids and then be able to separate that time and go and put in hard work. And also when I visualize fighting, to also just harden myself for battle, to make sure that I'm not like, you know a soft, I'm soft mentally going into a fight. I'll go in there battle ready.
Other than obviously, I'm sure countless conversations with your wife, you talk to a professional, like a sports psychologist, someone like that, to help you figure this out?
No,
No.
just like, sometimes we have things in our lives that we intentionally ignore, that we don't want to address, and spending time in thought about it and making tough decisions. I wasn't doing those things before, and this year off gave me the opportunity to do it, and I forced myself to make the necessary changes and to actually spend the time thinking about, you know, what went wrong, uh, where did I screw up to leave myself kind of in this position where I'm disappointed in my last handful of fights.
So you mentioned that John Fitch fight, which was almost exactly 2 years ago, April 27th of 2019. If you would have told me, a week or so later that Rory would still be fighting and thriving, and here you are, it looks like there's a potentially great year ahead for you. I'm not really sure, based on what you said in the cage and your body language, I'm not really sure if I would have believed it. Would you have believed it, that it would have turned out like this back then, if you would have talked to that guy who was in San Jose that night?
Um, maybe not. Like I was kind of juggling the idea, like I just didn't know because all I'd known in my entire life is fighting. I'm 31, going on 32 soon. I started fighting professionally at 16 years old, and it's kind of all I've ever grown up knowing what to do. So not having that desire anymore was confusing to me, and I didn't really know where that left me. So happy to have that back. Um, it wasn't a fun process to go through that, but necessary, I think.
Do you feel like it's fully back, or like, was it fully back going into this fight, or maybe the win helped you fully get it back? Where do you feel like you're at now?
No, no, I've been like fully dialed in since like you know probably like after the first quarter of 2020.
Okay. Um, Being with a new promotion is not new to you, of course, because you went through it with Bellator. How would you describe the experience the first time out here with the PFL?
I really enjoyed the fight. The production was some of the best that I've ever been a part of, even though there was no fans. The bubble experience was not, my favorite thing to do, but
17 days, right?
yeah,
Wow.
but uh, the training rooms and everything they provided were good. Um, so I wasn't really happy with the bubble, but we got through it, and we're getting through these this time with COVID where people are doing all kinds of crazy restrictions, and hopefully in the future we could have fans back and just go back to normal.
Will you have to do the 17-day bubble for all the fights, or is that still up in the air?
They just emailed me that they're doing a 12-day bubble for the next one.
Okay, so it's going down. And
Yeah,
and do you know when your next one is yet?
yeah, it's on June 17th, but I
Even
don't have it yet.
Okay. Um, and overall, like, you feel like this is a promotion, like, because you've been with the UFC at its peak. You saw about, like, so what it's like to run a successful promotion, and how a fighter should be treated. Do you feel like there are, positive signs there that the PFL is here to stay?
Absolutely. They still are young, and I feel like I could give them a hand with, things that I see that can be improved, but I don't think they're big changes. They're doing a good job.
Okay. Um, Overall, when you look back at Bellator, your experience in Bellator, how would you describe it?
It was good. I feel like when I was going into that title fight against Lima, they really they kind of I feel like they threw me under the bus a little bit in the lead up to that. Like they really were rooting for Douglas Lima. It was very obvious.
How
And
so? What made you feel that way?
Just the promotion, like, about it. Like, I just feel like they took a certain angle to kind of, I don't know, put the light on Douglas, which is fine. He did a great job in the tournament. I just felt like they decided to put the angle on of me not being really sure if I even wanted to fight anymore,
Mm.
and I just felt a lot of pressure breathing down my neck. I'd fought Musasi, had a terrible performance against him, and then I think I got entered late into the tournament against John because of it. Something happened, I can't remember. And then it was like they wanted me to fight like boom, 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 like three fights like right away. I think I fought Neiman like a
Yeah,
handful.
April, June, and October of the
Okay.
same year. So
Yeah,
that's
they
three
wanted
fights.
to fight Douglas, I think in July,
Hmm.
August, but my son was being born. Anyway, it was a big uproar about that I wanted some time to like get my family organized, but I don't want to be a big complainer. I mean, I had good opportunities with them. I had some good fights, and unfortunately, some of my kind of performances I'm not super proud of were under their banner, and I can understand that they weren't super happy with that either. So can't put all the blame on them either.
Was it ultimately your decision to leave, or was it a mutual decision?
Well, I was negotiating with them before the Douglas Lima fight while my management was,
Mhm.
and they had just they kept they were very unorganized when it comes to that kind of stuff, and they kept like kind of, yeah, we'll get around to it sort of thing. It was very slow responses. And my management was kind of trying to figure out a deal to lock up the next contract to stay with Bellator. Um, but they never really seemed to get their numbers straight, and any like the serious negotiations never really even got started.
Okay.
It was very preliminary, and the talks were very slow. And before you know it, I had fought, and then I became a free agent because they still had more time after the fight even to renegotiate. And again, they just seemed very like behind the ball, and a little bit busy or something. I don't know if you talked to Michael Chandler, but I had the basically exact same thing happen to me as Michael Chandler, where it just felt like the negotiations, like, could never really get into a deep dive into negotiating.
Okay.
Or
And speak.
I was a free agent and was able to talk to other promotions, and so I went ahead and I went with the best offer.
Speaking of Michael Chandler, I'm assuming you've talked to him while in Florida. Those who have been following your story know that you're in Florida now. You've been training at Sanford MMA. Is this a full-time move for you and your family? Are you no longer training in Montreal or even living in Montreal anymore?
No, I'm still like my permanent residence is still there in Montreal,
Okay.
but because of COVID, there's no training really going on in where I'm from. So made the decision to come down here, and it's been really good. I've been really enjoying it. So I'm just going with the flow at the moment.
Possible you like it so much that you just move full-time.
Full time, I don't know. Canada is my home, so maybe I'll bounce around, but we'll see.
But you did have, I saw Faraz in your corner, so you're still affiliated with TriStar.
Yeah, and even Toshido in
Mhm.
Western Canada,
Right.
David Lee. It's just you know, kind of COVID just made everything so complicated. Not even all my coaches could come to the fight because when Canadians have to cross back over the border, they got to do a whole thing. I'm sure you know about like
Mhm.
going to hotels and fines, to thousands of dollars of fines, and if you don't do that, and testing and 2 weeks of quarantine at home, it's just there's a
It's a
big
lot.
a
Yeah.
lot of people have things going on, jobs and families and things like that.
And so is it tough for you? Like you have your coaches, you have Faraz there, but you didn't do this training camp with him. Is that is that a challenge?
No, it wasn't really at all a
Okay.
challenge. Roz knows my style very well and has cornered me a lot. I mean, I've been here since February, so I mean, I haven't really. It's not like I evolved in that amount of months. I tried to sharpen my sword of the bag of tools I already had. I didn't try to add new things. You know, to my toolbox. I just kind of sharpened my sword down here.
One of the ways I think a lot of people realized you were in Florida was this picture emerged of you and Robbie Lawler at the gym. Was that the first time that you ever were like in this, having a conversation in the same room as him since the fight at UFC 189? And even if not, what has it been like being around him in training?
Robbie's a great guy, super nice. I seen him yesterday at the gym. He's very down to earth guy, and always looking to help. And if I had an issue or needed something, he was always the first guy to point me in a certain direction or offer help in some way. So he's been a super super cool guy to interact with, especially because we had such a big fight. We had two fights. But yeah, the first time I think we talked was when I first went to Florida in 2020. I went in like February or January, and that's when my first time I went down there. I was talking with him down there.
Did you guys reminisce? Did you speak? I mean, it's an iconic fight that is one of the greatest of all time. Did you go there or not even?
I don't even think we've ever spoke about it, to be honest.
Wow, that is wild. Maybe nothing needs to be said.
I don't know. I don't know what to say.
I think a fan, didn't the fan bring like a picture for you guys to sign or something like that, or a painting at the gym?
Yeah, there was a guy training with us. I think he brought it.
Okay. And even that didn't spark a conversation. Oh, remember this? Nothing of that sort.
Not really.
Okay.
I, I, we both just finished training and we were both tired, and the guy wanted to take a picture, and he asked us to take a picture, and we kind of like just did it and carried on.
So now, Rory, you're as you said, 31 going on 32. Just curious, during this time, have you decided how long you want to do this for, or are you not going to put a cap on your career?
Well, I have a goal. I want to be the best welterweight in the world, and I think I could do that in a matter of like a few years. After that, I don't know what to expect, but I think I could be doing this for another 10 years or so, but I don't know. We'll
Wow,
see.
that'll be quite the ride. With PFL, you're happy here. You feel like you're in a good spot. It's all come together for you.
I'm with PFL for 2 seasons,
Okay.
and I'm gonna recalibrate after that.
Okay. Rory, I appreciate this. Very happy for you. Welcome back. As a lot of people said, it was really great to see you get your hand raised, and looking forward to seeing what you'll do with the new promotion in this season, next season, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But like I said, it was a really great sight. So hope you enjoy the victory and good luck in June.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.